What's up, YouTube? It's a beautiful day in the 509. Even though it looks nice, it's actually kind of cold, but it's not bad because it's February, and that means riding season keeps getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and pretty soon it'll be here and it won't be cold. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked last Monday's video. What kind of happened there was it wasn't planned to go with that how-to video on kind of like what to do to winterize your bike, or a couple like easy ways to just start and do a little something. But it was just so cold last week and I was gone for the weekend, and it wasn't good. It's cold today, but at least it's sunny, which helps it feel less cold in my mind. And so that's what I ended up doing. I hope you liked it. But today we're going to continue on with the series, if you will, talking about different kind of bikes and my opinions and that kind of stuff. So today we'll talk about the other kind of bike I own. Last time, 2 weeks ago, we talked about like Street Fighter bikes, such as this one. So today what we're going to do, we're going to talk about sport bikes. Ooh, but that's a Harley though. So, as you guys probably know, because you've probably watched my old videos, because it seems like the same people are watching the videos because views go down. Yay! So, on my earlier videos, you see a lot of my 2005 Yamaha R1. And I really like that bike a lot. And it was my second bike I owned. And the first bike I owned was a Ninja 250. And in the last video in the series, I talked about how I don't know if you can really consider that bike a sport bike or not, because it's so small and just not, I don't know. I think you could call it a sport bike, because I don't know what else you would call it, and it's just not that big. So I've ridden sport bikes and this bike. I've never really been on anything else. I've been on a Ninja 650 once, and I moved a Harley for a guy once. And let me tell you, that Harley was heavy, but the sport bikes, they're pretty light, they're pretty nimble. I've always kind of leaned that way. I've just liked the way they look, the way they sound. I always thought the dude on the crotch rocket is so cool. So now I'm that dude on the crotch rocket that's so cool. I will say, if you're gonna be two-upping, giving a passenger a ride a lot, a sport bike might not be your best bet. If you want to be riding track a lot, I think, I've never done it, but I think riding track would be so much fun on a sport bike. I love to go ride a track on my R1, even the 250. I don't own it technically anymore, but my brother does, and I think that would be a fun bike to whip around a track. It's not very fast, but those corners on that track, you could go pretty good through those corners. The R1, I think the corners would be harder than the 250, if we're being honest. I think it'd be so much fun to get a 600 for track, because those things are all about the corners, and it would just be a lot of fun. Just thinking about it, I'm like, nah, nah. But I really like the sport bikes. I like the way they look. I like the way they sound. The downside to them, I know there's a big downside, because I've tried working on them a lot. And you know what? Taking off the plastics every time isn't fun. So that's something to think about, is if you're getting one that you know you're going to be working on a lot, just know you're going to be taking off the plastics quite a bit. And if you're okay with that, great. At the same time, it's not a lot of fun taking off plastics and putting them back on. They're pretty easy to take off. It's just like a screw that you do like a 1/2 to 3/4 turn and they pop off. So they're pretty easy. They're just kind of annoying to do. But I love just the way the R1 rides. It's just kind of indescribable. don't really know how to explain it to you guys. Unless you've done it, it's almost like you don't really know. Like, it's just, you know? No, you don't. You do, you don't. I don't know. That's up to you to tell me if you know or not. But it's like when you sit on it, you just become one with it. Like this bike, I sit on top of it. That dude's like, yeah. But when I sit on my R1, I'm like part of the bike. And it's like you just move as one. Like you become so liquid and fluid. I don't know. Liquid, fluid, water. I don't know. Yes, you move with the bike so well. And I don't know. You just can't really describe it. So, would I recommend a sport bike? Sure. I mean, it's kind of a personal preference thing. And that's really what I'm realizing. I really like them. I like the way they sound. I think they're too quiet stock. Like this, it's stock and you can't hear it. And on the R1, it's got a Two Brothers dual exhaust coming out the back, and you can hear that bad boy. That one is loud and proud. So yeah, I would say get a sport bike for safety reasons, so cars can hear ya. It's best to get an upgraded exhaust, but they're great bikes. They're pretty tough, actually. I mean, you can kind of put them through the ringer and they'll hold on. I think the R1 that I have has been put through a little more than it should have before I got it, just with multiple previous owners, and somebody tried to steal it from a dealer once, and it was just kind of a bad situation, I guess. But I've had to deal with some issues that needed to get fixed on it, and it gets fixed and then it runs fine, and it's not as simple as hopping on it every time. But the 250, I've never had a problem with it other than needing to change spark plugs once, which was really weird. But other than that, yeah, sport bikes are great. Get one. If you don't have one by next week, what are you doing? Get a sport bike. All right, see you guys later. Bye everybody. Woo!